It's time for the shop report with
Barbershop Jay.
What up, sports fans? Welcome to the Shop Report. I forgot to close in. I'll give myself a button to start things off. I'm sitting there looking at the screen. I'm saying to myself, "Now, what am I supposed to do next?" Oh boy, I'm trying to tell you the life of a host and podcaster, vodcaster. I'm trying to tell you from behind the scenes. Anywho, what up, sports fans? Welcome to the Shop Report. I'm Barbershop Jay. I'll be your host for the day. Here's what's happening. Of course, we want to remind you the Shop Report is brought to you by Rocket Digital Media. It's the one-stop shop for all your digital marketing needs. You can look them up on Facebook at RDM Detroit, 1D, 2E's Detroit, or you can slide on over to the website, rocketdigital.net. That's ROCKIT digital.net. And make sure when you're there, while you're there, you tell them the BSJ sent you. And y'all know what's coming next, or should I say for my folks out there in TV land, if you want to leave your questions or comments during today's program, by all means, please do so, and we will throw it up on the screen. And now, dun, 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 dun. Y'all know what's coming next. If you're one of them folks that wants to leave a question or comment that's indignant or ignorant in nature, it won't be seen on this screen. Matter of fact, here's what you'll get.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
With that being said, joining me on the program today is none other than my cap from up north, Toy James, a.k.a. Devil J. Tell the people what you say.
It's official. Jim Boeheim, after 47 years, has retired from the game of basketball. For context.
No way. Where was I at? Oh, wow. My gosh.
Putting together, assembling furniture.
Oh, yeah.
I was doing that over the weekend, too.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you.
You can ask Megan. It did not go well.
Yeah, it never does, especially after you hit 30.
So
Jim Boeheim. Yeah, go ahead.
For context, he started coaching at Syracuse, not just like, he started coaching.
Yeah, before the NCAA basketball was a big deal on television.
Before the original Star Wars hit theaters.
What?
There you go.
Whoa. I was 7 years old, and I had to do the count on the fingers. Y'all see that right now? Yeah, did y'all catch that? Okay, anyway, settle down, Kimosabi, slow it on down. Man, I was 7. Oh, no. Oh, man, you know how much close, but if you stop and think about that, you know how much closer I am to wearing diapers? Again? Oh, man. Oh, no, I don't want to think. Oh, this is unbelievable. Oh, unbelievable it is. Yeah, don't sit there with a straight face.
I wasn't going to be the one to say it.
I'm just saying. Your turn is coming next, buddy. Keep smashing the Lucia is what you do.
Yeah.
You're going to be there a lot sooner than you think you are. Oh, wow. Well, shout out to JB. You know what I mean? He was around back in them days when the Big East was one of them conferences. I told you all they experimented with 6 fouls. That's how physical and tough that it was to play in the Big East, baby. So, again, all them guys, the Chris Mullins and the Allen Iversons and the Ewings, and the Rod Stricklands and all of them type of guys, man, they had to do work, baby, to put up what they put up. So, again, shout out to Jimmy B. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to salute you for sitting on that sideline and allowing me the privilege to watch some of the best basketball that I grew up on, that I still stand by to this day. So, again, Jimmy B, it's all to the good. We're going to miss you, man.
Elite defense.
What happened now?
Elite defense as far as the zone.
Oh, man, stop it. That's not elite. Oh, please.
No. Not just running the zone. It was the caliber in which it was ran.
Okay, I'm telling you right now. Then they should have won more national championships.
Well, and that could have been what the motivation was to continue.
Well, all I know, well, for 127 years, I mean, no knock against the one title because I mean, it is a one and done in the tournament. That's why I like the NBA. I mean, excuse me, I like the. Well, anyway, I'm not gonna go down that road. But the March Madness tournament is far more compelling, given that it's a one and done. I mean, at what point in a basketball season does your record matter?
Well,
And
so this is an interesting
could be
point.
9-25, and another team could be 25-2, and all of a sudden, here we go, Cinderella's all.
Well, but this, hang on a second. That's actually, as factual as that sounds, it's actually incorrect because of the fact.
Whoa! You said BSJ said something incorrect.
Yeah, here's why. Oh. Here's the double standard that exists. First, in conferences like the MAC, you have to finish at least 8th to get an opportunity to even participate. So there's that. Right
now, let's keep in mind the only conference.
Okay, well, then that in itself is a crime. So secondly, so that makes it not applicable in that respect. And unfortunately, and I say this because I wholeheartedly am an advocate for expansion only on this premise because of what you're saying, because I believe it is true, even though it's currently
expansion
not true.
Of what?
Yes, and the reason why is you can be a team like, I'll give an example of this year's Oral Roberts team that was 17-0 in their conference, in conference play, undefeated. But if they did not win their conference tournament,
they don't get a bid.
That's correct, which means you have to, if you're a Power 5 school, we'll give the example of Wisconsin right now, who just got knocked off in the first round of Big Ten tournament, very first game.
Well, what makes Wisconsin a Power 5 school? The way that they play or where they're perched?
Well, based on who their, the luxury they have of quad one opponents that
and who the boosters are. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, no, just who they play against. Okay. And so, again, somebody like that can go and lay an egg in the conference tournament, and they have to just kind of now walk on eggshells and hope, that their name gets called. Well, but otherwise, they wouldn't have even been in consideration under the exact same circumstances.
Okay, but wait a minute. But college basketball has been what you're describing. That has been college basketball for eons. Listen, this is once again why we all watch the NBA in the 7-game series that always lead to the finals, which of course too is a 7-game series and all that other good stuff. But that is the one thing about college basketball that is still a significant draw. Whether it's your conference tournament or the actual tournament, regardless of your record, you have to play on your A game. You know how much pressure that is? In other words, this is not a
you're
double
asking
elimination.
College, hang on, you can't use an NBA comparison for college kids because you're absolutely right.
No, I'm talking about the state.
To that.
No, wait, whoa. Basketball in and of itself is still just basketball. Now, there are different variances. I know the NBA level is faster, and I get all of that, but I'm saying you have to go play a game. You only get one. It's one night.
That's right.
One night. And if you don't play at your best, your season is done.
Right.
Until next year.
The closest you get to the NBA is teams that are consistent. You're trying those, and the teams themselves often have a more of a deeper. They have more depth where that consency gets spread around.
NBA?
No. In college. That's why. Yeah, but there aren't the Jason Tatums, that are going to put up 33 every night at the college level. Even if somebody like an Imani, right? Not averaged 19 and a half for an entire season. And he's one of very few. And his team won like 5 games. So that kind of tells you it all. That it just doesn't necessarily translate. So being able to have a model of consistency is, to your point, why anyone can beat anybody on any given day. And
that's what makes you want to watch it still. despite the style of
so
play
then why?
mirroring the NBA.
But that's why you got to reward. You can't tell me that November
no, you don't
matters.
reward. No, you don't reward.
No, you can't tell me November through February matters if you're gonna punish a team for going 17-0 and then having one bad night during this 1 week. You have to be perfect this 1 week. That's really what you're saying.
No. First of all, no human woman can be perfect anyway. That's number one. Number two, what I'm saying to you is, if you are like, don't let me get my phone. I'll put it in our text. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a thread that we use Discord now in our sort of text thread, and I put it up there. If you still got it on your phone, I don't have my phone by me.
I don't either.
Oh boy, please. Okay, well, if you all could bear with me 1 second, I'm gonna get my phone. Hey, fellas.
In the meantime,
hold on.
My point is,
let me mute myself. Hold on. Let me mute myself there. Bear with me, y'all. We appreciate.
So again, the point is very simple. There is no reward for what is done for a non-Power 5 school. I'll give the example of College of Charleston. Only lost a total of 4 games, one of which was to North Carolina, who hasn't had the best of seasons, I know.
Yeah.
But they did beat Virginia Tech, who also hasn't had the best seasons, but did advance today. Both of those guys did, actually. And the fact of the matter is, despite 2 Power 5 wins, they still have to win their.
Sorry about that. I had to switch us back.
In order to be able to get the additional opportunity, which is the main dance. But what is the point of the conference or of the regular season conference within the conference play? If it's only applicable to Power 5s.
Okay, okay, all right, that's fair.
So remember, I'm talking about adding. I don't know how many conferences there are, but there's not enough. We're talking like 12 other teams. If we were to say, okay, if you win your regular season championship,
well, where's the regular season championship coming in at?
Well,
you don't win a regular season championship, you win a conference championship.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's what I mean. Yeah, but I'm saying from the. So Purdue, as an example, won the they're the Big Ten champs outright for the conference play.
Oh wow! I'm shocked. We got a Purdue mention here. Imagine
that.
No,
it just so happened to work. So
okay, got you.
But if they go and lose over this weekend, they still won the Big Ten. They just didn't win the Big Ten tournament. Are you following?
Yeah. Okay, but
what happens to the Ionas and the Oral Robertses that would accomplish the same feat? And then let's say they follow suit. They just don't win their conference tournaments. Their seasons are over.
Hey, listen.
To me,
let me say this to you.
Win a conference, win your conference right during the regular season.
No, if you are what your record says you are, then you win your conference. Listen, you can't go. I don't care if you play No. Let me finish.
We wouldn't have upsets then.
Oh, please. No, you're gonna always have. Listen. You're gonna always have. You're gonna always have S bets. You're gonna always have upsets because that's the nature of sports. I mean, you can go to the NBA. What was that year that Monta Ellis and I think Baron Davis was on the Warriors when they knocked off Dirk Nowitzki and the Mavericks when the Mavericks were supposed to be? Okay, you're gonna always have upsets. What I'm saying to you is this: regardless if you play in the Sun Belt, Valley, Belt Buckle, Paul Revere League, I don't care what it is, Ivy or not, Moss, whatever league you play in, if you run out to a 21-3 record or whatever it is, because that's what you're playing for the most part anyway. You're playing more conference games throughout the regular season than you are out of conference games. So if you already beat them teams, you don't wait until you get to the conference tournament to all of a sudden lay an egg. That's where you have to tell yourself, you know what? We beat these guys before, and we're gonna beat them again.
Yeah, but whether you
ask
lose
Joe
by
Burrow.
1 or 100, it's still the same.
Well, that's shame on you then. If you go 24 and
you can't
if you go
punish
24
these
and
teams.
2, no, you punish yourself by not winning your conference tournament. That's what you do if you go 24 and 2. That's what you do. You punish yourself.
No,
now, please.
if you're one of these other teams, otherwise you got to make it make sense, right?
No,
I mean,
it does make
otherwise,
sense.
I'm going to be honest
Win
with you.
and you're in.
No.
What do you mean?
Ridiculous.
How is it ridiculous?
Because the regular season is irrelevant then. It is.
Well, whose fault is that?
That's on college basketball. They got to change it.
Well, no, they don't have to change it.
They have to include.
They don't have to change it.
You have to reward regular season champions.
No, you don't have. Listen, that's like saying everybody get a.
No, that's not. This is one team.
That's like saying everybody get a trophy. Oh, no, please.
No.
Hey, Bobby. Let me ask you this. I'm telling you now. How many Super Bowl trophies is awarded?
Right. And they also reward conference champions too.
Okay.
And guess what? Okay. When they win their division, those guys are celebrating too.
Hey, listen. And let me say this to you.
Okay, example. Bad example.
No, it's not. Win your division, win your conference. Exactly. No, it's not a bad example. I'm just going to go into detail at this moment. If the Patriots, during their heyday with Tom Brady, went 14-2 in the regular season, nobody was betting against them to not win their conference championship.
I understand
because they had established themselves as the perennials throughout the regular season. So
right. you would still be the number one seed, but again, they weren't never once in that was, oh, guess what? If they don't win these 3 games consecutively, they miss the playoffs entirely. That was never once on the cards.
Hey, let me say this to you. If you are the Sun Belt, if you the team with the best record in the Sun Conference Valley, Arizona, Grand Canyon Belt League, okay, then that means you've done what you needed to do throughout the regular season. You should be that team. The conference tournament should be irrelevant to you. Winning it should be like, man, what do you mean? Okay, they just put a different name on it, but we're still going to get it. You know why? Because we're the best team in the conference anyway.
We might be the best team, but again, as you know, over a long season, you don't know if somebody else was injured. You don't know if
that's any sport.
Fire that night.
That's any sport except badminton. Okay, and
so again, and then also you got and remember you're playing somebody multiple times, so you don't think there's not tendencies, there's not other things that are figured out.
Good. That's right. Make the challenge more challengeable or challenging to me, and I'm the Sun Belt Raisin Brand conference.
Right, but if I lose, all of that was for nothing.
Well, guess what then? Next time you better win.
But if I'm Northwestern, I can lose 4 in a row, no problem.
Okay.
You're telling me that's the same? That's not apples to apples.
No, I'm not saying it's the same. I'm saying what you go there for or what you're there for is the same.
But
to win,
again,
baby.
But we're talking about
Al Davis
upsets.
Raiders.
You will get more of those by incorporating these because they've been more consistent than the counterpart that actually gets into said tournament.
Okay. Again, you want in, win. And then we're not having this discussion.
Why are 10 teams from one conference going and we can't take 2 from the other?
Because the conference got the most money. What? Come on now. You do the math. Please, man. It's all. Come on now. Work. Big bank take little bank. Man, come on now. You know how they do it. Oh my gosh.
Well, then again, the problem is if I were in charge of one of these schools, I would literally be saying, I don't care. I want to move conferences just for that, just for the sole purpose of coming in dead last and probably having a 50% shot going into this week of making the tournament, despite being horrendous.
You know why? Let me say this to you once again. I don't know if it was on ESPN, but it's a documentary going around about the 1990s ACC hoop squads and their profiling, in particular that Georgia Tech team, that was Lethal Weapon 3 that made it all the way to the Final Four with Dennis Scott, Kenny Anderson, and my man Oliver. If you go look at those teams in the conferences in college basketball, the landscape as a whole, whatever those teams did in the regular season, you can pretty much bank on them winning their conference tournaments. All of this stuff that's new to sports now, like for instance in the NBA, back-to-back games. We're just coming off a back-to-back. GOAT talk. That stuff, low management. That is some new stuff for these moist ninjas that they done came up with to fit this. No, if you are what you are, then win it. If not, then try again next year, baby. Now, the only caveat I will lend you, I'll lend it to you, but you got to give it back because it's like $1 on the string, is that a lot of players nowadays are one and dones. Whereas once upon a time, you had some juniors and seniors and some sophomores in the mix, okay? Guys were returning, so you knew you had a shot to do X, Y, and Z. But other than that, man, win it in your end, baby. Win it in the end. Can we start the show? Oh my gosh, let's start the show. Anywho, right quick before we get into the first item on today's menu, I just want to let folks know out there that we should have some other folks joining us. You know, as usual, a little late to the party or whatnot. We might actually come here, I don't know, a time or two and do a Saturday or Sunday show so that we can get everybody so all inclusive, if you would. We got a few people that are usually with us, but that can't be with us because their schedules have changed and Saturdays and Sundays are now available to them. So we'll see what we can do, here in the near future. But anywho, our first item on the menu is 5 burning questions. But before I get to I'm just going to read the 5 burning questions. Hopefully, we might have my man TJ from the locker room and D Gully from the CL on bus. They might join us. Anywho, has Ja Morant, has he bit off more than he can chew?
Well, thankfully, I'm still going to lean on no for the moment because there's no charges being filed.
Yeah, but I tell you this. If they find out that he had that gun on the plane, that's indefinite. If they find out he had that, I'm not going to even go into. I'm not going to go into.
Well, but they would have flown private. So this happened to Kyle Busch, the NASCAR driver in Mexico. He was supposed to serve a year in prison. He flew out.
Well, I mean, that's Kyle Busch we talking. Okay, that's one of NASCAR's finest. Come on, man. Good old boy network. Anywho, okay, we got my man here. Shout out to my man joining us here. My man D Gully. Hey. Do you want your intro or no? You want your intro? Can you see your intro?
We already in. I'm too late for it.
Oh, okay. Well, anywho, we'll give it to you anyway. Shout out to him again.
For sure.
For joining us. What we asking here right quick is whether or not if Ja Morant has he bit off more than he can chew with this latest incident?
Anybody can survive this because the consensus has been largely this isn't his nature. This is not his character. He's acting out of character. And so shockingly, if you will, this is such a departure from his character that I think it can be excused. I don't know how many of us are looking at it saying, well, his true colors then came out. I don't think so, right? The what I've been hearing more out of it is, you need to watch your circle around you. You need to, have good friends. I don't agree with it at all.
Whoa. Back up. Hold on. Let me interject here because me, I'm an interjection here.
Right.
First off, to his character, and then you saying this is kind of out of character for him. That I would lend some credence to that because if you followed him at Murray State, because if it was in his character, we would have seen this, at some point well before now. You know what I mean? Just and I'm not saying these two are the same, but just to give an example, like a person that tells lies, you might get away with it for a minute, but at some point you're going to trip yourself up. It's not going to be too long before, warts come to the surface. Okay.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, though, somebody somewhere that's around you, as I mentioned on this show before for other reasons, you got too many free to homies and not enough don't do it, bro. He got a crew that he run with. You can't tell me that he don't. Somebody prior to him going on IG, on his IG live, he had been said something to somebody. I mean, I don't know for certain, but I mean, you know, I'm just going off the experiences and the nature of whatnot. Somebody done said something somewhere at some point, and I'm wondering if these dudes is like, yeah, man, you know, if you celebrating what you about to do type of deal, as opposed to, man, don't do nothing like that, man. Don't do nothing like that.
Why not do anything like it? Is what I'm asking. Why do you think they would tell him? Why would you think they would tell? Why would you think they would tell him not to do it?
That's what I'm trying to say. You got to do.
No. I'm asking the question. It's a probative question because this gets to this gets to what I don't know that I've heard it a lot, and I need to see what more. What the opinions of others or the opinions of others that we would follow, if you will. To find out, like, why would they tell him not to do it? Would they tell him not to do it because you don't want to show your hand? Or would they tell him not to do it because it's not a good look? Or would they tell him not to do it because
that's why you would tell him, somebody in his camp, somebody that knows him, that had, and I'm gonna jump out on a limb, that had some idea that he was going to do that before we all saw it, so to speak. The same way that Antonio Gates, the tight end for the Chargers, that I will challenge anybody, not even challenge, just go watch that story on Antonio Gates. Them dudes in the hood, he said it when they do them NFL player profile type of deals. He said, man, I grew up in the hood. He said, I used to hang with the dudes. I walked by them. But when I started trying to do what they did, they stepped off and said, look, bro, our time is done came and passed, but you got a chance. Man, if you don't, they would snatch him by. Now, Antonio Gates ain't no small dude now. He said they would yank him up by his collar and take him home like Miss Gates, get him out of here. You know what I'm saying? Get him. What are you out here doing? They would look out for him. Now, as bad accurate as that may sound, like the guy who was the big time drug dealer in the neighborhood was giving out free turkeys. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, okay, but you're killing your people, but at the same time, yep. Okay, anyway, that's another story for another day. What I'm saying is, those dudes, or you could go look at the Boys of Dunbar story with Muggsy and all of them. Growing up in Baltimore, Carmelo Anthony. Then somebody somewhere said, hey, man, or should have said, hey, man, come on, bro. Why do that? Because look where you at now. And then no disrespect to his father, but I've seen fathers. When my sons played hoop, I've seen fathers live vicariously through their children. No, you want to see a better you through their eyes, man. Let them have a moment. Yours and you had yours. Let them have a moment, man. Too many of us out here with age should come wisdom. That's all I'm gonna say about that, man. Ain't nowhere in the world, man, because look at the hot water that you in right now. They talking about if they find out that he had, and I don't know if it's different whether the plane was chartered or not, Double J. That's a good point. I don't know. But per NBA rules or CBA rules or whatever that is, if they find out he had a gun on that plane, he done. And I get it. We was all young and did stupid stuff. You see what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, I did stupid stuff. And it cost me 5.5 years of my life. And I ain't about to go down that road either. I'm just saying. But believe me, it was people that told me, hey, man, don't do it, bro. Don't do it.
Right.
Okay. But I ain't listen to him. So now if that's what happened, well, then you got to take whatever, it's two things that come off of the choices that we make in life: consequence or reward. Hey.
I'm saying that I believe, in my opinion, what I think the issue to address here, the issue that need to be addressed, based off of my opinion of what that issue is, everything you saying is circumstantial. Because based off of my opinion, I haven't articulated my opinion yet, but what I'm saying is the circumstances around having people around you to tell you this ain't a good look for you, having people like Antonio Gates, having a community around him to say, yo, don't do what we doing because you want something different. All of that is circumstantial, and it is a fortunate coincidence. The issue that I believe it is, and it's near and dear to me, And I think, without saying too much, I think barbershop, you know why? Because we have dealt with this, or I have dealt with this secondhand. Right. The issue that we're talking about is validity and inauthenticity, or the authenticity of a black man being at question. And everything you see about what his behavior is emblematic of the struggle that we as a community deal with, validating the authenticity of being a black man through struggle, through grit, through toughness. He have a 2-parent home. Like, all right, think about this. Think about the meme that's been circulated ever since this happened. The meme that's been circulated.
I haven't seen.
No, the meme that's been circulating is the last scene of 8 Mile, where B Rabbit goes after what's my guy name? Anthony Mackie's character. And at the end of it all, he kind of exposes that Anthony Mackie's character isn't one of this grit, gang toughness. He's a dude that grew up in the shelter life.
It's a private school.
Yeah, so the meme that's being circulated, right, is the audio of that last scene where B Rabbit is rapping, and they putting images of Ja, his family, growing up at the cookout, the high school that he went to, saying that he was wholesome, he wasn't about that, he ain't this, he ain't that. It does not authenticate him being a black man growing up like Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, because Dale Curry and Michael Thompson grew up in the rough environment, and they had the wherewithal to do something to get themselves out of that environment, to raise their kids out of that environment.
Oh, wait a minute.
Go ahead.
But to your point, Gully, those two have proven that you don't have to fit that narrative. This all originated from that Shannon Sharp incident where he checked T, he checked Ja, and the Memphis team, who was really huffing and puffing and woofing at that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and that's the problem. And I don't fault Shannon Sharp for saying that, but that's the problem with our culture. See, in my opinion, like everything that Ja Morant going through or put himself in, I have a great deal of empathy for him, because not everybody can sit there and look at. Not everybody can look at. It takes all right for me. The choice for me not to succumb to that ideology was easy, because I'd already been to a funeral. If you understand what I'm saying. So right. I had the choice to make, but it was easy for me because I had already been to a funeral. And my mama I already had to see the look in my mother's eyes. For that reason, I didn't follow, or I didn't succumb to the same choice that Ja Morant unfortunately came to. You ain't black if you ain't gang. You ain't black if it ain't gang. You ain't black if you ain't down. You ain't black if you shelter. We don't do that with any other culture's families who grow up crime ridden. See, for what I mean by that is, if you talk about an Italian crime family, the mom is present in the life, the dad is present in the life, the son is a knucklehead, but you never question their toughness. You might question their foolishness and recklessness, but you never question their toughness from having a whole unit and being a family, but being about that. But when it comes to black people, we question it. Okay, and it's a choice that every person, every man in particular, they have to ultimately decide whether I'm going to allow myself to validate my toughness as a black man, or authenticate myself as a black man by not doing that, or am I going to just ride with it and see where it takes me? Ja Morant chose the other. But listen,
at the end of the day, though, did you hear what you said? He had a choice.
I know he had a choice, but But I'm saying, listen, that choice is, because what I'm talking about, that choice is one of identity, bro. That choice ain't just like, okay, I know I'm a knucklehead, but I'm going to stop doing it. The choice was, it's not about if I'm a knucklehead, I'm going to stop doing it. The choice is if I'm really, really, truly a black man out here. Because we identify blackness, true blackness, with toughness and grit. As corny as Will Smith was in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Will Carlton was the one whose blackness was at question. Why?
Okay, but let me say this. What you're saying is true. But hold on. Let me get this out, Double J. What you're saying is definitely true. In the African American culture, there's this thing we're not authentic unless we do something, unless we get our shell toes dirty or something or whatever. You know what I mean? I get that. But here's the deal, though. As in Mayo, say I got to authenticate or identify or validate myself to anybody. That comes from your parents. At the end of the day, be comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah, but understand.
Are you blaming his dad? Are you blaming T. Morant for this?
No. I don't blame. Listen, I don't blame.
Sure?
What I'm saying is the need for me as a black man to feel like I have to authenticate myself for what? To who? Who are you?
Exactly.
Listen.
Look at that response, though, Jay. That toughness and hard is that belief in yourself. It really exposes his weakness. So that shows the difference of environment. Because that's how I am. And I can promise you that's how Gully is. That's how TJ is.
Yeah, and what I'm saying, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish your point, Double J. My bad.
But this is where he has what I struggle with, and this is why I'm questioning T specifically, because you don't get your son into all those positions successfully, right? Mm-hmm. The private school, Murray State is also very expensive school. Mm-hmm. He doesn't get this far without you behind him.
Right.
At what point did he go from parent to
pal?
Partner? Yeah.
Pal. Listen, look, I don't see. Okay. And we're going to keep things rolling. This is good. I get it, man. I get it. But at the end of the day, Gully, I experienced what you experienced because we family. Okay. But there was a moment, I'm just speaking from me. There was a moment where I was forced, because that's what life gonna do to you. You have some people who will tell you, and I'm just gonna benefit of the doubt. Let's say he had his parents tell him, "Hey man, you better, okay," and you ignored it. He want to be hard, but you ain't really hard. Well, life gonna say, "Well, listen, I gave you 10 chances to listen to your elders, and you didn't. So now let me highlight you." Because there was a moment I was sitting in a cell that when they cut the lights out in the place, it was so dark that I put my hand in front of my face and could not see my hand. And all you have are your thoughts. And you know what? The one thought that I kept coming back to, no matter how much and who I tried to blame for whatever actions I did, accountability. Because at the end of the day, who to blame, why to blame, and all of that, we could go on and on forever. Whatever he just did, I guarantee he's going to realize that at the end of the day, it comes down to who is looking in that mirror. It don't matter what they say, he say, she say, nothing. I guarantee you, just like I did, you're going to have to learn the hard way then if that's the case.
Jay, if I have $48 million, if I have $48 million already, and I'm lowballing it. I think he probably has more than that at this point in his contract. It is very difficult, as Kanye's lyrics said. Once I get my money right, you can't tell me nothing, right? So Yeah,
but Mos Def always said, "Don't get got."
Well, and that's part of it too. Look, right? You remember he's in Memphis. Memphis, the same city that is notorious for murder.
That's why I'm low key. But I'm low key. Ain't nobody messing with Ja, man. Come on, man.
What do you mean they killed their own? Now, albeit there was gang ties and all that with Dolph, and so he was getting cookies or something. Okay, what about?
Let me throw this in here right quick. What about this? Because I don't know the details of it. And again, we're getting this from other sources and peoples and such now, and we're trying to piecemeal it together here for the sake of the folks that's out there watching this and tuning in. We appreciate y'all. What about this ordeal with the 17-year-old? At some point, like this cop told me one time and told my mama and them, he said, listen here, ma'am, he's 17 right now. But if he keep doing what he's doing, and I'm just using this as an example, it wasn't literally the case, but if he keep doing what he's doing, when he turns 18, if we have to get a call and come here and he's turned 18, we're going to tell you to go back in the house.
So what you telling me is exactly why Ja probably took it to that level for a 17-year-old, because the 17-year-old didn't realize who he was. What you just described is the position of somebody who's 17, think everything's sweet, and think that
No, Ja beat up a 17-year-old.
Exactly, but what you just described, the perspective you gave is a 17-year-old that don't get it and realize that, you know what, you're not as grown as you think out here, because you keep doing it, you keep playing stupid games, you're gonna win stupid prizes. Now,
that's what I'm saying. When you turn 18.
Now, bro, because listen, I'm 5'8". Listen, I'm 5'8" and 170, and I promise you, I promise you, I'm learning to read things, bro. I promise you, sometimes when I went to my son's high school, I was reading the room, and I'm 5'1". I'm 5'8", 170, and I can tell it's a 14-year-old that's an old lineman that is 6'2" and 285, looking like it's lunchtime. Listen, Ja's response probably wasn't the one that Ja's response to whatever that situation is, and I don't know what it is, but I'm just saying if you throw in the lottery tickets of possible scenarios, the response is maybe shouldn't have been the actor to carry out due diligence because of what Ja had to lose, but it's perhaps possible that a 17-year-old tried an adult, thinking because I'm the same size as you or I'm bigger than you that everything ain't sweet. And Ja Morant, unfortunately, not recognizing the position he was in, had to show that young man, you're not who you think you are, and you need to not act like that, because that's what we say when we talk about reckless behavior.
Okay, that's fair. But
remember, how many times have you seen on a street ball court, right? The outcome, it gets physical occasionally.
Of course, because guys, listen, we went through that at the park at Woodhill. For all my Woodhill players out there, shout out. When the former Cavs players used to come up there and play against us or whatever it is, Oak and all of them, well, listen, hey, I'm going to say it like this, man. At the end of the day, if you don't want to be in no it, don't put yourself in the predicament. I'm not putting myself in no position where I got to be going up for nobody to challenge me at 17. If I'm in Ja's position and I'm an NBA player, hey, I'm going to do what Mike did when Mike was trying to get back in the league after the first retirement. I'm going to go rent out a gym, and I'm going to get if I just got the hoop, I'm going to get Double J, Gully, guys where I know that when we get done, it's all love. We going home. We're going to talk about it after the fact. I'm not about to go to the club, and I'm rambling here, but try to stay with me. I'm not going to the club knowing what I should be knowing. If you don't want to be in no it, don't put yourself in a predicament, because at this stage of it, whatever the case may be, however we got here, who's standing holding the buck? He is. Yeah.
Right now he is. So now he gets to figure it out because he done went all the way. Listen, he's went all the way into a certain level, and now he recognizes. I think now he might be able to see the end result of how he's carrying on. But I got to go back to ask you this question.
Okay, hold on. Let me throw this last one in. Are we not saying too, though? In some cases, your first impression could be your last. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. So no going in, baby.
What did Shannon Sharp? I think he stood on his comments, but he later apologized for. I think he did. He did apologize for the. I think for the escalation. Too. No, hold on. Wait. No. What did he mean when he said Ja wasn't about that life? His daddy ain't about that life. What life is he talking about? Because that comment kind of like, what did he mean by that? What did he mean by that?
What you mean? What do you mean by that?
I'm asking.
That's a going.
I'm asking the question.
Expression in the black community, meaning you don't want
no. Why isn't Ja about that life? Why isn't Ja about that life?
From Shannon's
the reason why I say the reason why I asked that question is because when Shannon Sharp got a lot, that tweet or whatever got a lot of likes. It got a lot of positive affirmation, like, yeah, Ja ain't about that. Yeah, T ain't about that. It's Shannon Sharp. He ain't like. What do we mean? Because that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's the origin, bro. The fact is, if we're talking about the red or blue pill, Ja took the other one. But the choice to be made was reflective of the environment around it, bro. I'm telling you, roughness, gang, hush. I gotta stop myself from cussing. That is what identifies us. And I say is because as a member of the black community, it's my responsibility to take.
I'm a member of the black
community. All right, so listen.
The demographics, guys. The demographics. That's what Gully. Jay, you're speaking from experience now. If you were to have this conversation with subtract
before
30
I actually
years,
experienced it for myself, the law was laid down by my grandfather and them.
Right.
So were you? So go ahead, Double J. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I was going to ask, so then the circumstances you got you in, were you acting in or out of character?
If I got myself in it, I was acting in character.
Okay. Why? Why were you comfortable in that character? Because it was accepted by the environment around us.
No, listen.
I'm saying he made bad decisions. I'm not saying he made bad decisions, and they're poor decisions. He should never have done that. And then there are ways, if you about certain things, there are ways to have tact. All I'm saying is, he's being ridiculed. Listen, all I'm saying is he's being ridiculed. He's being ridiculed. Yeah, he's being ridiculed for acting a certain type of black that we don't think he is. That's what he's being ridiculed for. He's being ridiculed for being Carlton Banks and trying to be. No, but he should
be ridiculed.
No, he should not be, because the standard for being black and authentically black should never include being about gang and thug mentality. Well, that's what I'm saying.
But this is why you can thank the last 30 years of the integration of music in sports, because you see a parallel where those that are in music want to be athletes and athletes want to be the musicians. Unfortunately, we're not talking about Boney Jones and smooth
Boney
jazz.
James. Don't whoa!
I did that on purpose. Anyway, the point being is this is what the quote unquote culture is accustomed to, and what you're seeing is someone attempting to fit in. You brought up Fresh Prince earlier, and there was the episode in the apartment where Carlton, became C, I think.
Yep.
Talking about when he was for the fraternity?
No.
Yeah, because there was another episode of Fresh Prince. I'm glad you brought that up, where they were trying to get into something, and Will got in, but Carlton didn't. And
exactly.
Or whatever the name told him, man, he is, but Carlton let him know, just because I am this way, don't get it twisted. It's in me. Just because in other words, your opinion or view of me don't make me who I am.
Right, exactly. And it takes, what I'm saying is, that is the choice.
Himself? In other words, Ja got low self-esteem then, is what you're telling me.
It's possible. Listen, I'm willing to. I would make that argument perhaps, but what I'm saying is, because he got low self-esteem because he chose he made a decision that was based on, do I validate my blackness by going above this, or do I validate my blackness by going with what's commonly accepted as being authentically black?
Hang on. Remember, he didn't have any say in what high school he went to. He did have a little bit in terms of university, but that was more so, again, an opportunity. And if I recall, there was some ties between the family and either the coach or staff. There was something more there that led to that move specifically. So this isn't like, he was, and this is where it gets very interesting too, because you have really three events. You have the Shannon Sharp incident, then you have this gun in the club thing, and then you hear about the 17-year-old thing. The timeline, however, there's a pretty decent gap between events. It was only, even the 17-year-old thing supposedly happened a while ago. Obviously it's the middle of winter, even in Tennessee. So he didn't do this during the season. It's just we're now hearing about it because now we're starting to paint a picture about a guy. Now we're trying to, now both the media and potentially himself, amongst others, are all trying to create a narrative. So the interesting part is this, was there a large enough gap that maybe this is who he is behind the scenes and we're just now seeing it? Or is he, as Gully's pointing out, trying to authenticate himself in this way? And that's the interesting part. Part of it is, because people will try to rob him, right? If they think, oh man, this guy's a square, I'm going to go up to him because he's all iced out. I'm right after that Memphis
like I
game,
said, that's what Mos Def said. When you got, like Mos Def said, don't get got. You walking around here with all this ice on your neck, son. I don't know all the lyrics. Go look up the lyrics, y'all, to that song. Don't get me. Don't get me. You loud. You advertising. You asking. But at the end of the day, man, both of you all got great points. Is this who he is, or is he trying to live up to somebody he ain't, so to speak? I don't know. But we got to keep things rolling. But at the end of the day, man, unfortunately, he done learned the hard way when keeping it real goes wrong. Are the Jets better off for not signing Derek Carr, Double J?
At $150 million, and based on Vegas odds, with Andy Dalton, the New Orleans Saints were projected at 9 wins. With Derek Carr, 9.3.
So that's a yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Gully, you think the Jets are better off for signing Derek Carr? Jets are better off for not signing Derek Carr. Excuse me. Hello.
Oh. Yeah. I think Derek Carr's better off. Yeah. I think they got some problems. I think they got I think
he didn't want to leave Vegas though.
No, I don't. Yeah, because they are productive. Yeah, it seems kind of weird to me. Like that didn't seem like an organization that was in much upheaval. Like they weren't struggling. So it seemed kind of weird to me that the relationship between he and the organization has gotten to that point. And are the Jets? Yeah, right.
He's a I don't even want to say it live. Josh McDaniels, man. Everywhere he go, man, it's just like LeBron almost, man. It's just crap in his wake. Ugh. Yeah, I will be out of there too. Josh McDaniels ain't one jack. We keep getting first-rate jobs. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. Yeah. I say either way it goes, it don't even matter. I'd like to know where Jameis Winston might hit. Did I say Jameis Winston? Did I say that? Oh, I did say his name right. Why am I thinking of James Wiseman? Oh boy.
21-5 yesterday, James Wiseman. So the Golden State Warriors may have made a terrible mistake.
But that's okay because the Pistons are not getting Victor Wembanyama.
Yes, we are.
No, you're not. Anywho, let's keep things moving. Does Ridley's return, make the Jags extremely dangerous, Gully? He's got his mic muted. Double J?
I'm going to go with no. It naturally is going to positively benefit them, but if you look at how Trevor Lawrence moves the ball, he takes advantage of matchups, and it is he doesn't force feed anybody. So if Ridley is back to who he once was, he made Matt Ryan look awfully good when we seen what happened without him. It improves the offense naturally, but not enough to really, I guess, oversell me on what else what they're capable of. I still think maybe that's because they may have slightly overachieved this past season.
Speaking of wide receivers, you both know I cannot stand the Ohio State Buckeyes. Okay, in part because of what they did to my Canes 48 years ago. And I am a Canes fan, staunch since 1981. So I'm going to stick. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. But I respect talent when I see it. I'm letting you know right now. Jackson Smith and Jigba, yes, is above, can't find a word, type of talent. He above next level talent. He is a legit.
No.
Yes, he is.
Marvin Harrison.
Oh, please.
Jr.
Yeah, we know about Marvin Harrison. Yeah, and
no,
he played with the
dude,
coach.
I am telling you.
His dad got gator arms.
Remember,
no, bro. You must, you clearly, that's how, your bias against Ohio State is showing because the praise that you heap on Jackson Smith and Nibba is all warranted. It's all warranted. It's all warranted. No.
Did you say praise?
Yeah. No, praise. No. Everything you're saying about.
Can I finish why I think he's this next level? Can I finish why? Can I say?
No, I don't disagree with anything you're saying. I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm telling you 100% that everything you're saying about him, you could also in equal fashion say about Marvin Harrison Jr.
Okay, but okay, thank you. All right, that's talking about from the games that were played this past season. That's not what.
Sure.
I'm not basing it solely on that. I'm not.
Okay. He's a freshman.
I don't care if he was a freshman. I don't care if he's a sophomore. I don't care if he's a junior. I don't care if he's a little tyke. What I'm telling you is this guy is next level talent. But can I give the reasons why I think he's a next level talent? So you all got caught up in the fact that I said I hate Ohio State football, and you all you look
like you was about to dismiss Marvin Harrison Jr. for saying that he's the shadow of his. That's what we bid on.
Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm not dismissing him. I'm just not mentioning him. Okay.
Okay. Cool. So Jackson.
With all due respect to him, all I'm speaking to is that Njigba is a beyond next level talent. That ain't no deep track or take away from Marvin Harrison. That's
how many games did he play this year?
And you're in Michigan. Unbelievable.
How many games did he play this year?
I don't know and don't care. What I'm telling you is, I'm not a big fan of the combine either.
Okay.
But I happen to catch what this dude did in the footwork drill. And you can ask any national
drill he's been preparing for the last 8 months while he hasn't been playing.
Okay. I don't know. I didn't see any other. This is the only thing I saw. I can only go off what I saw. You're in Michigan. What are you defending Ohio State for? Paige and Mrs. Alva. Yeah, exactly. We don't know either. The footwork that this young man has is what separates him from most. Now, I ain't see Marvin Harrison Jr. in the footwork drill. I did not. But from a wide receiver at Ohio State standpoint, they both top-tier talents, no question. But this wasn't no knock against Marvin Harrison Jr.
It is.
You don't have
this kid.
I'm not. You don't like Njigba's candle and Martin's Harrison goes out. What are you doing?
I'm telling you right now, the same way that Garrett Wilson and my guy that went to the Saints, Olave, the way that they went kind of one pick right after the other, if that was possible, it would have happened. It would happen this year.
And that's fine.
That's how good Marvin Harrison is.
I never said
just 1 year.
Do you want me to play back the tape? I never said Marvin Harrison was bad.
This dude is a freak.
Yes.
I'm telling you right now.
Okay, so wait, but Marvin Harrison is whatever Marvin Harrison is. You telling me Smith and Njigba is not?
No, I'm saying they are both.
Okay, I was just speaking on Njigba.
But Njigba hasn't. He missed almost the entire season.
I don't care, man. His footwork is impeccable. I have yet to see a young player at that position. Some of your more heralded players who have come out in the last 2 or 3 drafts at that position, they do not have. And then I'm not talking about. Well, number one, let me say this. We'll get to your comment here in a second. I mean, I mean, I say this begrudgingly. I really do. Okay, but I'm going to give them respect. Ohio State is known for their wide receivers throughout the years. Galloway, Chris Carter. I mean, come on now. What are you doing here? You're defending them today, but you're not defending Chris Carter? Are you serious? The best sideline route runner catcher in the game?
There.
What happened?
There was a pretty big gap between those guys.
I'm saying Ohio State, if you go back to Ohio State's history, since we've been alive, I guarantee you they put out more top-flight NFL wide receivers than they have quarterbacks.
Well, that's not saying
okay,
much.
Well, yeah, and say Arch Lease if you want to, Gully. I'll see you over there. Yeah, that's what I thought. Don't you even dare. Let me get to this comment right quick. Oh, shout out to Miss Alva weighing in. She said, I'm not sure why he's defending Ohio State either. Because, how I hate Ohio State. Thank you, Miss Alva. I see somebody didn't. I'm glad to see somebody don't,
no,
drink and drive.
That guy is someone you want on your team. That is all I'm going to say.
Okay, so let me say this again.
Listen.
Hold on. Let me say this again, but let me say it a little slower. I said, Njigba Smith. Mrs. Alva, help me out here. I said, Njigba Smith is a top flight beyond next level talent. I'm trying to figure out in saying that, how did I say Marvin Harrison Jr. was trash?
Because you said, because when we mentioned Marvin Harrison, you gave us his dad's list of credentials.
I did.
You didn't.
I know. I was saying that. I was being facetious and cynical.
I know that's what he bid on. So he bid on that So Double J bid on that. And you didn't. Right. You just let him go, and so that's all that was. Not because I looked at that. Like he looked as. I mean, if what's my man name that came out of oh gosh
yeah, that's all right.
That played for the Saints. No, that played for the Saints. Played for the Saints. Mike Thomas, right?
Oh no, I thought you were talking about Chris Olave, but yeah,
Mike Joe Montana.
Mike Thomas. I mean, he's as elite as he's as elite. I mean, when I look at what I see from the combine and going forward, yeah, he's as ready for the game as Mike Thomas was when he came in as a rookie, and it was instantly productive.
I just have yet to see it. I've watched the combine for a few years. I'm not saying I'm no authority on the subject. I mean, I ain't no Mel Kiper or nothing. We all know how many rights he done got wrong. Anywho, I might not always be right, but I ain't never wrong. But anywho, all I'm telling you is I have yet to see, not yet. It's been a long time since I've seen a guy do that drill and the foot. Listen, let me go listen to what the national pundits are saying. The ones whose credit, or should I say, whose personas or take that you respect. They even said it. They said it all across the board. Turn on NFL Network. That's what y'all need to start doing. Y'all need to leave Stephen A. Anthony Smith alone. Anywho, yeah, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Ridley's return most definitely make the Jags extremely dangerous. Yeah, while you're playing Double J, because he too, Ridley, got footwork for days, baby. Yeah, let's keep it going. Is Jimmy G on his way to the Jets, or is Double J's favorite player Sharon Rodgers killing that deal?
It's Rodgers. I told you it was Rodgers.
Okay, so wait. Whoa. If I'm Sharon Rodgers, why am I going somewhere else that's cold? All the broken clavicles and broken bones he done had. Don't you want to go play somewhere warm? Go to Miami.
Why wouldn't he go to San Francisco?
Wow,
that would seem ideal. He played in UCLA. Why wouldn't you go to? I mean, they were just a game away from.
He played at Cal.
I'm sorry, he played at Cal. Yeah, it's still
California.
Blue, blue and orange, and didn't really do much when it mattered. Yeah,
Hollywood,
but anyway,
everywhere. Yeah.
Right, but yeah, why wouldn't he? I would try to make my way to the Niners. That's what they're missing. I mean, think about it like this: they were down to their third string quarterback, and they still made a game of it in the NFC Championship before it got out of hand.
Yeah,
that team.
They were in it.
Yeah, they were in
it
to
play.
Yeah, unless there's something about him. I don't know. Yeah, if he does. Wait a minute.
On Brock Purdy.
Wait, did Aaron Rodgers? No, I'm sorry. That was Matt Ryan. Kyle Shanahan worked with. I mean, yeah, Kyle Shanahan was the OC with Matt Ryan. He didn't work ever with Aaron Rodgers. No, he wasn't ever in Green Bay.
He worked with Brian Hoyer. He had me in the barbershop throwing my reputation all up against the wall.
Oh, Michigan State quarterback.
Go Sparty, go.
But before he went to Michigan State, he's from here, right here from Northeast Ohio, baby. Shout out to B-Hoy. B-Hoy, baby, with the Ignatius. Yeah, Chuck Kyle, baby. I mean, don't start no stuff with me. Anywho, let's keep it going. Did I see this right a couple nights ago? Did Luka push his coach? Yeah, he did. See, you look over there. Look, oh, now wait a minute. Okay, what? I mean, help me out. Is it a yes? Is it a no? Is it a shrug? What is it? What we doing here? We playing Twister?
No, I thought you were going with the Devin Booker conflict, but you went.
Oh,
coach.
please, that was no
I didn't
conflict.
see that.
Oh, please. Oh, please. That was, you seen the what was the cartoon that used to come on and we loved and I still liked to watch it. That Recess. That's all that was. That was Ralphie in A Christmas Story. Yo, put your eye out. You know what I'm saying? Butch tried to run up on him and Ralphie got tired. He got that F on that paper. He's like, you know what? I'm sick of Butch. Whooped on him real bad, man. That's when the prey. Anywho. Yeah. But I seen him push his coach. Double J, you didn't see that? Were you drinking the Lucia then by that time of the night? Okay. Anywho. Yeah, I'm just wondering. I thought I was the only. Apparently, I was on.
Hey, those West Coast games. That's past.
Where did you see this at?
I saw the game the other night.
Well, no, who did they play?
Phoenix.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I mean, it's being pushed. It's being being swept.
He shoved. Yeah.
He shoved Jason Kidd.
That's player empowerment. No, it was no. I don't think it was Jason Kidd. It was like an assistant coach or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Because I was looking down. I had to look up. Like, whoa, did I see that out of my periphery areas?
Yeah, but has anybody looked it up? I mean, you would think that would be a bigger story,
bro. Listen. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to find it. It's not. It's buried, bro. It's
not
buried.
a big story because it's not John or
hey, Double J. It's as buried as Kofi Kingston was when he botched that match versus Randy Orton.
Man,
if it happened, it's that buried. Yeah,
that's what we doing here.
That's what we doing.
Nothing about wrestling all to that extent.
You don't know what I'm talking about. Did you know that? Did you know what I'm talking about? Did you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Double J.
You know, our host could catch an RKO, huh, Gully?
I don't know what an RKO is. I wish somebody would tell me. I think Gully's line cut out here right quick. A second. Gully, you still with us? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. What's an RKO?
It's joke on me? Yeah, it's when your face go to sleep.
Okay. So should I have hit a button?
Hey, he almost indirectly is doing the pose too.
Right, he is. He really is. He really is.
What are we doing here?
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh
man.
And speaking of wrestling, I hope you all have checked out or are going to check out the biographies that they're doing on back in the day wrestlers. You know, the 1 hour specials. It's 3 series or something like that, or whatever it is. I have yet to catch the Nikita Koloff, the Iron Sheik, the Junkyard Dog, Ultimate Warrior. I haven't seen any of these yet. These are the wrestlers that I know. Okay, Andre the Giant.
Well, it's Mania season, so now's a good time to kind of catch back up and get back in the swing of things.
Oh, please! I'm gonna watch the West Side Story. Is what I'm gonna be watching.
Oh boy.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm into musicals. Anywho, yeah, I just found that rather interesting that Luka was pushing on people and didn't nobody say nothing about it on the major networks because you all didn't even know. Okay. And you talking about you don't watch West Coast games. Why? It's because you've been knocked out. The Lucia got you knocked out, huh? 9:45. It's a wrap. That's not Lucia. That's old age, buddy. I'm trying to tell you. But anyway, we're gonna keep that going. Yeah, all right. All right. Our second item on the menu is the Gridiron. And for this week's feature of the Gridiron, we have NFL Network did a special on top 10 HBCU players. I thought it was rather interesting. And I wrote them down because the reason why I write, okay, slow it down there, baby, slow it down. The reason why I wrote for this is because how many shows back and ongoing shows have we had a discussion about players and their quote unquote longevity?
Okay.
All right. So there was a player that was profiled in this HBCU, and they talked about his longevity. Now, even though NFL Network had him 10th on the list, okay, I'm going to mention him first. Or should I? Should I say the best for last?
No, go ahead. You started it. You loaded the clip.
Okay. On a side note, right quick, Florida's Anthony Richardson. Oh, yeah, he's definitely going to be somebody going to be looking at him. Anyway, we can talk about that after we get through the list if y'all want to pick back up on that. But at number 10, don't even do it. I just threw that out there. It's called dangling, like dollar on the string, like the State Farm commercial. Oh, you almost had it. Oh, you got to be quicker than that. Anywho, Jackie Slater played at Jackson State. 20 NFL seasons at right tackle. In addition, obviously, of course, to blocking for Eric Dickerson's 2,000-yard season. You want to talk about longevity? I don't want to hear about no NBA player playing 50 years when this guy played 20 years in the NFL. This is a time where you could still kind of lightweight do Deacon Jones head slap. You could poke a guy in his eye. You know, you could do things at the bottom of a pile that I would, beep, 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 beep. That had to beep out for this show. It's a family program. I'm just saying, P program. 20 years? Bruh, 20 years. Can somebody help me out with that? Is that not the epitome of longevity at the NFL?
Man, yeah, for sure. I mean, 20 years as a linebacker. No, I mean, as a line. I'm sorry. As a lineman, that means you getting touched every single play. Every single play.
Boy, you got the flow. Keep going. And when
every single play, you getting touched.
Mm-hmm.
And you said left tackle, right? Left tackle, correct?
Right tackle, I believe.
Right tackle. Okay, so his only reprieve is that he probably dealt with primarily right-handed quarterbacks. So you know what I mean? So that where the left tackle is the blind spot, so you got is more critical. You know what I'm saying? But that's still it's 20 seasons is 20 seasons. Oh man, that's crazy, bro.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. 20 seasons on the off. 20 seasons in the NFL is remarkable in and of itself, especially when you look at some of the players. I don't know how long, for instance. I know the position is not the same, but no, we're not even talking about position. Excuse me. 20 years in the NFL, period. I look at guys like Earl Campbell. Jerome Bettis, you look at these guys, man, they beat up. Obviously they play running back. But again, running back is almost akin to offensive line. You're talking about getting touched on every play. To play on the offensive line and in the NFL for 20 years, man, you deserve a 40-year something for that. Tell me I'm lying.
And he did it with one team.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Please. TJ, where you at? Calling TJ. Yeah, where you at? That's what I
with
thought.
With one team. That is crazy.
Yeah. That's all I got to say. Anywho, Jackie Slater, man, shout out to you, baby, for doing something. I didn't even think to look this up at the time I was putting this together, but I'm wondering if he's the only player to ever do that.
To spend 20, because the Rams went in 1995. They were, hold on, wait a minute. Was St. Louis, were they the Rams in 95? Yeah, they were the Rams. Yep. So he was a Ram the entire time.
Yeah. He was a right tackle.
Yep.
Yeah, yep. He played right tackle. Yeah, remarkable. All right, that's him at number 10. At 9, Shannon Sharp. Now, if you want to, Double J, you watching Kia commercials? You getting ready to buy a Kia? Unbelievable.
Oh, hell no.
Anywho, if you all feel like anybody should maybe be added to this list or taken off, by all means, just, toss your hat in the ring. At number 9 is Shannon Sharp. Savannah State, excuse me. 8-time Pro Bowler to go along with 3 Super Bowls. Of course, he played with the Broncos and the Ravens. Should he be higher?
I don't know who else is on that list.
Okay, you go through the list and then we'll come back to him and I ask you if he should be higher. Michael Strahan is at 8.
Well, he's higher. He should be higher than Michael Strahan.
You think so?
Shannon Sharp?
Yeah, hold on now. Wait a minute. Played at Texas Southern.
Okay.
Defensive Player of the Year in 2001.
Yep.
And of course, we know he anchored a Giants defense that beat an at the time undefeated Patriots 18-0 and Tom Brady. Now come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now. That's like Kobe beating, or that's like somebody beating Michael Jordan in his heyday.
Yeah.
If you are one of those people who think Michael Jordan is the GOAT, I'm not one, because I don't think there is such a thing, but that's another story for another day. I'm just saying, if you're one of those people that think Michael Jordan is the GOAT, whatever that means, again, then Michael Strahan went up against and not only that, they had Randy Moss on that squad too, baby. Set the single season record for touchdowns in the season over my man Jerry Rice Krispies. Oh, man, come on, man. Don't come in and cut it out, baby. Not only that, his 22.5 sacks in 2001 remain, I said remain, not lo mein, as in ramen noodles, remain the highest in a single season. And now I don't want nobody to get, before y'all even go down that road about talking about Brett Favre gave him a gift, okay? Because if they keep going the way it's going, Brett Favre's going to be getting a gift, if you know what I mean. He's going to be breaking somebody's hair. I'm just saying. What you want there, Brenda Favre? I don't know. I'm just playing. Let me stop. Let me cut it in, cut myself out. But again, his 22.5 sacks remain the highest in a single season. And you still say, Gully, that Shannon Sharp should be ahead of him on this list, you think?
Yeah, well, yeah, I still think Shannon Sharp should be.
Okay, well, okay, go ahead.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing, right? Offensive and defensive production is different in that a very productive. If you're very productive as a defender, you're not going to accumulate the volume of catches, if you will, tackles to catches. You know what I mean? So it's hard to say. And then you can't really quantify what it's like to be a defensive disruptor, where you might be not allowing yards, if you will. You're not giving up yards. You're not giving up big plays. So perhaps I think maybe I need to give Michael Strahan a bit more respect. It's still hard for me to believe. It's still hard for me to put him over Shannon Sharp. I can't instantly dismiss it, though. I shouldn't instantly dismiss him being listed ahead of Shannon Sharp.
Okay, well, wait till I get to the rest of the list then, because, okay, we got some doozies. We already started off, and there's already some question as to if, what, where, why, and when. Double J, are you going to weigh in? Are you have a problem with the list so far or no?
No, right now we're still in good shape. I think there's one person that I'm waiting for that I want to, that I may have a problem with, so we'll see.
All right. At number 7, Richard Dent. Played at Tennessee State, obviously with the 85 Bears defense, and retired with the 3rd most sacks in NFL history. But now, should he be ahead of Michael Strahan, though?
Well, for that reason, does Michael Strahan have more sacks than Mr. Dent all time?
That I don't know. But in a single season, yes, of course.
No, 3rd most in history. I don't think Strahan on that list. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Strahan is first or second.
You could say tomato as far as
but that 3rd most in NFL history. That's a big deal. If you sit there and ruminate on that for me, that's a real big deal.
So
but whoa. Okay, so now let me go back down the list so far. We got at 10. Now this is the NFL networks. This is how they listed it. At 10, we got my man Jackie Slater. At 9, we got Shannon Sharp. At 8, we got Michael Strahan. And at 7, we got Richard Dent. Of the 4, should not Jackie Slater be ahead of those 4 of the 3?
No, man, I don't know, because I was looking at the stats for them teams. See, when I was growing up, the Rams had some pretty lean years, even with Eric Dickerson. But I didn't realize in the 70s and 80s, the Rams was a 12-4, 13-3, 11-5 squad. That was a squad that you had to contend with in the playoffs because they wasn't flukes. And Jackie Slater was a big part of that, especially by his 3rd year. That's when he was a starter.
I don't know, Gully. I think they drafted him in
76.
Oh,
he played 20 years, so 76 to 95.
Yeah, no, I know he got the starting spot at right tackle when that year the Rams played the Steelers in the Super Bowl. in 79.
Right. Yeah. So that was his third year. That was his third season.
31-19 was the score in that game. Jack Youngblood broke his fibula and still played the game, mind you. Meanwhile, we got certain players and played basketball to get carried off for having cramps. Excuse me. Sorry. I don't know. Something about the medication or something in the water. Anywho, but here's okay. Well, all right. Well, let me give you number 6.
Wait a minute. All right. Oh no. By the way, my bad. No, man. Yeah, we gotta quit shading. I gotta quit shading Michael Strahan because he is currently 6th all time on the sack list.
Not third. But
at the time. But no. Hold on. Wait. Here's the thing. With 141 and a half, he is 6th all time. With 137 and a half, Richard Dent is 10th. So he finished his career with more sacks than Richard Dent. Michael Strahan did.
Wait, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So in other words, that's the key word here. Excuse me. Richard Dent retired with 3rd most sacks in NFL history. So I don't know what year he retired because Strahan probably was still playing.
Wait a minute. So he's not 3rd all time then.
At the time he retired, he was 3rd all time.
He was 3rd most.
Well, if he got passed, and so he should be passed in this circumstance too.
Oh, okay.
So wait. Yeah, because all right, it looks like to me at the time he retired. Oh yeah, because number 2 and number 1 on the list have 200 and 198 sacks respectively.
Reggie White and
Bruce Smith.
Yeah.
Reggie White is number 2 with number 198. Bruce Smith. Lawrence Taylor is 14th with 132 and a half.
What?
Yeah. As dominant as you thought as far as statistically.
What? Who? Lawrence, see, that's a classic example of you look at Lawrence Taylor's statistics. If I put up a blank picture of a player, no uniform, no nothing.
Everybody knows him. Are you crazy?
I'm just
if you put up his career stats and don't put a name to it, like I know it's the game that one of the guys at one of the networks, one of the major networks do. They'll just give you a career stats and they put it next to another one.
You gotta guess the player. You put up his career stats, you would never have guessed it was Lawrence Taylor. That's what I'm trying to say, man. Would you watch that guy on film? Man, please. He looked like he had 100 sacks in every season. I watched him. No disrespect, but ask Joe Theismann how that felt. I'm just trying to tell you. Number 6 on this list is Art Shell. Played at Maryland State. Obviously, Raiders Hall of Fame offensive lineman, became the first African-American head coach in the NFL since the 1920s. But see, here's the thing. Let me go back over right quick.
He played with John Madden, didn't he?
Who played with John Madden?
Art Shell.
Yeah. John Madden was the coach. Yeah.
Okay.
But here's the thing. For each one of these guys I've read so far, something stands out. And those are the things that stand out are the things I wanted to weigh one against the other when we talk about each guy. Like, for instance, Slater. The fact that he played 20 years in the NFL and on the offensive line, that's put that over here. Shannon Sharp. 3 Super Bowls with 2 different teams. That I take that and put that over there. And I'm putting that in the same box as Jackie Slater's 20 NFL and position. Then Michael Strahan, his DPOY in 2001, and his sacks in a single season. Put that in the same as the other 2. You get what I'm trying to tell you? Then for Richard Dent, I mean, that 85 Bears defense, man, he was the anchor. Put that in that category. And then Art Shell, the first African-American head coach in the NFL since the 1920s. So all 4 of those things are where we at. All 4 of those things I just took away from each one of those guys. Which one do you think outweighs the other? Is it Art Shell being the first African-American head coach in the NFL since the 20s? At the time he became the 20s? They were still wearing the helmets that I still wear at work. Leather. Just saying. Huh? Or
yeah,
Jackie Slater's 20 and 20.
Hang on a second. That's not the only accolade to Art Shell's career.
No, I know that. I know that. I'm just pick those out. That's all. I'm just saying. Art Shell was, I mean, one 8-time Pro Bowler, I believe. 8-time Pro Bowler there.
Yeah.
Oh, was it 9 times? I forget. Excuse me, how many times? I just thought that was interesting because I didn't even know. And I watched him. Well, I watched the Raiders get demolished. No, did they win that game? No, they got demolished by the Dolphins with Dan Marino. Anyway, I'm having flashbacks. Browns in the AFC Championship broke my heart 17 times. But anywho, Art Shell. I mean, come on, man. First African American head coach since the 1920s. Does that not trump 20 and 20 from Jackie? 3 Super Bowls for Shannon, excuse me. And Strahan's DPOY and his single season sack record.
I mean, he coached them for 5 seasons, too. 6 seasons, 89 and 94.
I'm trying to tell you.
And in that time, they were playoff teams. Yeah.
I was just getting ready.
Wasn't Bo Jackson on the team at one point in time?
Yeah, but he was. Yeah, he was.
Man, don't nobody know football like Bo. Let's not talk about Bo Jackson.
He would have also gotten Tim Brown towards the end of that.
Yeah.
Rocket Ismail, I believe, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They suffered from bad quarterbacks, is what they did.
They had the Alabama quarterback.
They had all bad quarterbacks. Well, I mean, they tried it with Jeff Hostetler, man.
Yeah, Hostetler. And then
I mean, he won a Super Bowl.
He won a Super Bowl with the Giants.
I know, but I'm just saying he won a Super Bowl with the Giants.
But wasn't it Kenny Stabler before Jeff Hostetler?
Yeah.
Man, Kenny Stabler was in the 70s. What are you talking about?
Oh, was that long ago? Oh, wow.
Yeah. Wait. No. Hold on.
Yeah,
we're gonna find that out.
You thinking about Vince Evans, maybe?
No, not Vince Evans.
Rodney Peete?
No.
Rodney Peete was a journeyman.
Holly Robinson Pete?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Hold on, man.
I'm just saying, hike. All right. I'm just saying. Woo! Yeah. Absolutely not. Gully, what you looking up right there, right quick?
I'm looking up the quarterbacks. We got on this thing about quarterbacks under Art Shell's tenure. Okay, notable quarterbacks, if any quarterbacks, really, pretty much.
Okay. Is Barbershop J on the list?
No, actually, you were on the Tecmo Bowl all-time great quarterbacks at 8th. Really? Yeah, at 8th.
Shout out. Yeah, I was on the scout team. Don't play with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm telling you right now, you don't understand. I ran that scout team like nobody's business, baby. Mike Vick couldn't even see me, son. I came to the line. I was like, 65 toss power trap on 3 break. And we come to the line. I'm looking over the situation. I was like, blue 27, blue 20, 52 is the mic, 52 is the mic. Kill, red right 88. Red right 88, and we all know what happened.
Hey, exactly. Our host doing his best, Uncle Rico, right now.
Shout out to Uncle Rico. This is unbelievable. I can't believe I'm being disrespected here on national television. Yeah. And while you look that up, Gully, I'm gonna go. Excuse me. Wow, I'm bumping the mic all crazy. Like, I'm gonna go keep on to the next name. At number 5 was Willie Lanier. Played at Morgan State, 8-time All-Pro. Now, here's the thing that about him, man. That just, and I mean, his peers said it. The coaches, the team that they played against, coaches, everybody that was around during the time that he played, they all said it. He wore a special padded helmet. Now, I didn't know this. He wore a special padded helmet not to protect him, but to protect offensive players that he tackled.
Jeez.
They said he didn't tackle people. They said when he met ball carriers, it was an explosion. They said you could hear it outside the stadium. Okay. I mean, I might have went over the top just a little bit. I'm just saying. He wore a padded helmet. Look, bro. to protect the victims of his explosive tackles. Also was a member of the Chiefs in Super Bowl IV, by the way. Lenny D, baby. Shout out to my man, Lenny D, baby. Lenny Dawson's son. Mike Garrett. Don't come on now. I'm talking about
Jay Schrader.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Yes. Oh, yeah.
Todd Marinovich backed him up. We all know the infamous Todd Marinovich. And then, I'm sorry we were interrupted with this late breaking news of the infamous quarterback that Art Shell had to field with a team. Oh, boy. Oh.
Marinovich was a top pick, too. No, didn't they get him from Green Bay? Green Bay drafted.
Nah, he was a top. Wait, no. What was the deal? Because it was Marinovich and Troy Aikman. And I think he wasn't the top pick. I think that was the key, right? Dallas wanted Marinovich, and I think they took Troy Aikman. Yeah. Oof. Oof. Oof.
Oof. Shout out to Double J's Cowboys. Woo! And you need to be thanking me. I'm the one that made the call to get Jimmy Johnson down there for y'all. So don't. Yeah, brother Rich, where you at? Holla at your boy. Willie Lanier at 5. At 4, Steve McNair. We all know my man, Mr. McNair, Alcorn State.
Alcorn State, yeah.
Here's another thing. I don't know if this would help his case or make his case even greater for Jackie Slater. You do know he blocked for Walter Payton, too, at Jackson State. You do know that, don't you? Oh, okay, got you. Anyway, Steve McNair won the Walter Payton Award and finished 3rd in the Heisman voting while at Alcorn State. That's a big deal. And led the Titans to a Super Bowl in 1999 and won MVP in 2003. Wasn't that a co-MVP, though, that year?
I thought it was. I thought it was.
But anyway, Steve McNair, where are we putting Steve McNair at? Should he be behind or not ahead of the Slaters and the Strahans and the Sharps and the
Steve McNair is what number?
4. According to
the
NFL
question
Network.
the question is right. I think his 4 is solid. I think his 4 is solid.
I think we're recency bias on him, dude.
On Steve McNair?
Yeah.
Perhaps I can concede that though, because I was not. Shoot, Steve McNair and Jackie Slater spent 3 seasons in the league together.
Oh, wow.
If you think about it.
So that's like Ken Griffey Sr. playing with Ken Griffey Jr.
For 2 seasons. I didn't know they played 2. I thought it was just 1.
Oh my, yeah. Oh, I'm tipping the scales of Jackie. He shouldn't have been 10. He should have been at the number 1 on their list. He should have been. But I get it.
Who's next? Bill Goldberg. Who's next?
At number 3, Mel Blount, Southern University.
There you go. Okay, I was worried he wasn't going to be on this list.
Named Defensive Player of the Year in 1975. Helped the Steelers win 4 Super Bowls in 6 years. And here's the killer part. This is why he might be even ahead of Jackie. The NFL, he was so dominant at what he did. The NFL had to come up with a Mel Blount rule. In 1978, the Mel Blount rule barred contact with wide receivers beginning 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. So thanks to Mel Blount, he got the 5-yard. What's going on here? Man, he used to manhandle receivers at the line of scrimmage. I'm talking about like, what's the famous game? No, it's not Tekken. What is it? Get over here. What's the
Mortal Kombat?
Mortal Kombat. Yeah, got you. Man, he used to manhandle receivers. But it was one receiver he used to always have not trouble with. Well, yeah, sort of kind of. That was Paul Warfield. Oh, my bad. Did he play Paul Warfield? I'm just saying, Paul Warfield, baby. Shout out to BW. Dolphins, 1972. I just had to throw that in there. You know, it's Miami. I'm just saying. Anywho, yeah, the Mel Blount rule. Now, does that put him ahead of everybody else? The league had to go, like they did for my Canes in college football. They had to go back and change the rules, how the game was played. We were so, anywho, I'm just saying. No. Okay, got you. That's what I thought. So we cool with Mel at number 3. Okay. And a little side note, right quick. I got a question. Is the wide receiver who had 1,000 yards, or when I say the wide receiver, I'm kind of like plural
Go
type of
ahead, I
player.
got you.
Okay. And I mentioned a few here, like the Largent, 1168, John Jefferson, 1,001, Harold Carmichael, 1,072. Before the Mel Blount rule, fairly compared to those with the same 1,000 who came after the Mel Blount rule. Let me read that again.
Wow, this is where you're getting to the 3-point line and without it, aren't you?
I don't know. I'm just asking the question right now. I'm just asking the question. It's in the notes, man. It's in the notes. I'm just saying. I'm just asking the question. Oh, now he want to disappear. You're gonna have to sip on the Lucia right quick. Don't let the sauce be your boss. That's all I'm telling you. Okay. Do you want me to read that again?
Oh no, I got it.
Okay.
You saying if physicality removed, do 1,000-yard receivers should they be as heralded as they are, though physicality is removed?
Because DOD has always been one of my criteria. Degree of difficulty.
Yeah.
When you got a guy and a receiver, and these are receivers that played with Mel Blount in the league now: Steve Largent, John Jefferson, Harold Carmichael. Oh, my bad. And Wesley Walker. He had 1169. Okay, with Mel Blount in the league. This is the Mel Blount that could play you right like this. Okay.
Yeah, but how many of those guys played him? Say we're in his division, right?
He played with the Raiders. Okay, so I mean, would he play with the Steelers? Well, number one, Carmichael was with the Eagles. John Jefferson was with the Chargers. Largent was with the Seahawks, and Wesley Walker was with the Jets.
So none.
Okay,
at
but
best they would have seen him once.
But even okay, oh man, they saw him more than once. He played how many seasons? Lord, come on.
No, and the Seahawks were in the AFC this entire time. So yeah, they probably saw them at least once every 4 years.
Yeah, the Seahawks were in the AFC. So too were the Chargers, and so too were the Jets. What I'm saying to you is, I don't care if it's one time or 10 times.
What I'm kind of specifying,
lined up against a defensive back, and they're this close, the wide receiver has to fight harder to get open.
Right, and then we're talking about the Mel Blount rule, meaning that he was so prototypically aggressive.
Yeah.
He was why they made the rule, but there was others like him that played. He wasn't the only one. He was just the most egregious one.
Yeah. I'm thinking of Tatum. Was Tatum still around back then?
Maybe
in the 70s. Yes, I said 75. Yeah. Duh. Shout out to my man Frank.
Would have still been there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I was just curious to know. You know what I mean? Is in other words, the 1,000-yard receiver before the Mel Blount rule? Can he be fairly compared to the 1,000-yard receiver after the Mel Blount rule?
I would say even without it, it would be worth noting just the way that the ball was thrown, the way that it's thrown now versus then.
Well, don't get it twisted now. The Steelers was one team. They was nobody else. They was chucking it. And so were the Raiders. And so were the Chargers.
Yeah.
And so were the Jets. And so were the Browns. They ain't had no business at that time. Okay. But I'm just saying, Paul McDonald. Anywho. Okay, let's not. And don't get it twisted. Jim Zorn was really chucking it. Him and Largent was like Stockton and Malone. I'm just saying.
How many 1,000-yard receivers were there in the league during those times? I'm just saying. I think that's far more common now
to get 1,000.
Yeah,
you
can't hit. Think about how many other rules have changed since then as well. Like Sean Taylor,
that's my point. Then why do we even compare?
You wouldn't have Rod Woodson. You don't not even talking about Revis Islands and all these.
But you're talking about Sean Taylor. You're talking about Sean Taylor.
Yeah, Ed Reed, Sean Taylor.
Okay. In any era, Sean Taylor.
Absolutely.
And maybe not even Ed Reed, but definitely Sean Taylor. And I'm a Kane guy. Did I say that already? Oh, my bad for being redundant. Okay, I'm just saying.
So, that on, piling on, it just, I don't know. I think it already the case could be made that it was.
That's why I said, can they be fairly compared? And obviously they cannot because of what you just stated. The rule changes. Hello. All righty. Because I'm telling you now, put Mel Blount in this era with the same rules. Man, please. We're not seeing Marvin Harrison. We're not seeing Torrey Holt. You might still see Isaac Bruce. I don't know. Isaac was bad. He was a bad boy. Who else might we not see? Oh, you'll definitely see Randy Moss. 3 catches, 163 yards, and 3 touchdowns with the Vikings. Are you kidding me? Come on now. That's next level all-day talent.
Would you see Jerry Rice?
Ooh, and he next on the list. And I could not say convincingly that you would or you could. Ooh, that's I don't know about that.
Mississippi Valley State.
Yes, Mississippi Valley State. And speaking of Mississippi Valley State, Jerry Rice, who comes in the list at number 2 again, according to NFL Network, led the league in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns 6 times apiece. Oh my gosh! Should we just shut it down now? Do you want me to read that again? 6 times apiece.
Restate it. Led the league and what?
Led the league in receiving yards and touchdowns 6 times apiece.
And he ain't number 1.
And that's what I'm trying to tell you, man. He ain't number 1. But wait, well, I don't know when I roll.
There's some names that haven't been said yet.
Okay, that's why I'm at. That's why I'm reading the list. I told you to add if you want to add some, not some.
I'm still waiting, but the fact that he's at 3 gives me there's some serious interest that Jerry Rice is at 3 because
no, he's at 2. Mel Blount was at 3.
Okay.
All right. Well, he's at 2.
All right.
Jerry Rice is at 2. Number 1, drum roll, please.
Get the stats first. Then announce it.
Okay. No Google.
Oh, wait a minute.
Gully, we can't see you, so I don't know if you're on Google, but I'll trust you on Google.
No, I'm not. Just acting.
Hang on. I think it's an offensive player. It's got to be.
You already was Googling. Double J, you cheating. Page your Mrs.
My hands are right here.
Oh, he got the Lucia. I exposed the Lucia. Oh, Power A, please. Power A. You can't even see the label. The label's half torn off. Anywho. Okay, so what are you saying here? You think it's what?
I think it's sweetness.
See, this I'm talking about right here. This is why
ain't nobody got time for that.
This is what I'm talking about right here, man. He does it every time, Gully. Every time, man. He's a thunder thief.
What?
Yes. Anywho, Gully said, give us the stats first. And over there, you had 2 sips of the Lucia, and I look at you. You blurting stuff out. Anyway, Gully. Yeah, it's Walter Payton. Jackson State. Retired as the NFL. Let me throw that in there. Retired as the NFL's all-time leading rusher and is the centerpiece of the Bears' 101-year history.
Can I be
over
fair?
Buckus, Nagurski, all of them. The Bears recognize Peyton at Walter as that guy.
Of course. Are you crazy? So thankful. I'm very thankful as I've gotten older.
More so than Hallis now. Do you what you just said?
Yes.
Jerry Rice should be number 1.
Oh,
whoa. I don't even have no siren for that. Oh, yeah. Red alert. What do you mean, Jerry?
Go fleece. You can't leave us like that.
Yeah, fleece. Exactly.
Well,
he's fleecing us right now.
You know what? We have to think about. All right, they're looking at these players that came from HBCUs, right? I would think that the consideration would be, how did they do during their time in the HBCU as well? So I could be wrong about maybe putting Jerry Rice ahead of Sweetness, but I'm thinking like, all right, yeah, I'm a product of the HBCU because not only did I do this at the pro level, but look what I did when I was coming up to let you guys know, to validate why the NFL would come to an HBCU to pick a talent such as myself.
No.
All that being, No, I mean, because why you make the list? Best players from the HBCUs. Like, well, what sense did that make to say that they came from an HBCU, other than to say, look at the talent, look what they did at Alcorn State that nobody really recognized, or you know what I'm saying? To then say, all right, hey, this is why we went and got this player out of HBCU. Like, for example, it's like saying, for his career, Jason Taylor is an all-time great, has a defensive end, and he went to Kent State. Kent State is a mid-major at best.
Jason Taylor didn't
went to Akron. Yeah. I'm sorry, he went to Akron. I'm sorry, Antonio Gates went to Kent. Yes. But when you say that with surprise, like Kent and Akron, you want to say, well, why? Look at what they did at Kent or at Akron. Look at what they did in this type of environment that has piqued our interest over a Florida State, Florida State, Florida, Miami, Oklahoma, Alabama. You get what I'm saying? So I think to make that list, like, what did these guys do at the HBCU level as well? I say all that to say, go ahead.
Well, kind of to your point, though, they don't really break it down. I kind of looked it up right quick. He is in the College Football Hall of Fame. Mike Dicker even described him once as the greatest football player he'd ever seen, but not so much so to give him the ball in the Super Bowl. But anyway.
Yeah, I wonder what that was about.
Yeah, he was an All-American at Jackson State University.
Gotcha.
Man, but let me read some of his accolades, man, what he did in NFL. He was the 4th overall pick in the 75 draft. He won the AP Most Valuable Player in 77. Of course, won the Super Bowl 20 with the Bears. He retired from football at the end of the 87 season, having rushed for at least 1,200 yards in 10 of his 13 seasons in the NFL, with 2 of those 13 being lockout-shortened seasons. My gosh. This dude right here, man. Okay, let me read some of his accolades. NFL Man of the Year in 77, along with Offensive Player of the Year. 5-time first-team All-Pro. 3-time second-team All-Pro. 9-time Pro Bowl. NFL rushing yards leader in 77. NFL rushing touchdowns leader in 77. 4-time NFL rushing attempts leader in 76 through 79. Burt Bell Award. 1970s All-Decade Team. 1980s All-Decade Team. My gosh, how many decade teams did he make? NFL 75th Anniversary All-Time Team. NFL 100th Anniversary All-Time Team. One of the 100 greatest Bears of all time. First team Little All-American. Second team Little All-American. NFL record most consecutive starts by a running back, 170. My God, is it anything this dude didn't do?
That's the problem when it as it pertains to the quote unquote GOAT conversation at the running back position between him and Barry Sanders, and to a lesser extent Emmitt Smith.
And you forgot Jim Brown.
Oh yeah, don't disrespect. Did you? So in other words, you're doing what
did you see how
you're doing? Yo, I know what that was, but yes, best believe my eyesight might be bad, but my hearing.
Hungry Henry might have something to say about those.
Oh, Hungry Hippo! Listen here. You better not leave Jim Brown out. No conversation when we talking about running the football at the NFL level. Do you want me to pull up Jim Brown's accolades? Oh, okay. I don't think so.
Versus Sweetness? Sure.
Okay, so let's go through this right quick. Okay. Now I'm reading this is at Jackson State. In his freshman year, he gained 614 yards rushing and 65 yards passing. He scored 7 touchdowns and kicked 3 field goals and 13 extra points. My gosh, what didn't he do? As a sophomore in 72, he had his biggest scoring day against Lane College. Okay, that's where me and Double J went, right? He ran for 7 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions. He made every All-American team pick for college division. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold up. Yeah, now we got to go to Jim Brown. He made, Walter Payton did, every All-American team picked for college division or Division I AA teams. In both years, he was voted Black College Player of the Year. He finished his career at Jackson State with 464 points and 3,563 yards rushing. The point total was a modern record for college football, not just HBCU, says college football. He averaged 6.1 yards per carry for 4 years, 6'0" in height, and 205 pounds. Joined the pros, obviously, in 75. My gosh. Okay, so what we gonna say about what's the deal with Jim Brown then? Do we really want to look up what Jim Brown did?
He was very consistent.
Who was very consistent?
Jim Brown.
Yeah. But at the same time, he played multiple sports too, though. See, is that the definition of athlete? Somebody who can play multiple sports and having played that sport for the first time, you would think that they've been playing that sport all their life, or is it a physical thing? A guy who can run faster and jump higher?
No, because we all know anyone who's played a sport, just because you're great at one thing, it does not necessarily translate to something else. And that takes
whoa. Back up. Say that again.
Just because you are great at one thing, it does not necessarily translate to something else.
Well, that's what I said. Is that an athlete, though? A guy like Deion Sanders and Bo Jackson?
Yeah, those are.
But is Vincent Jackson the wide receiver for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Is he an athlete? Or how do you define athlete?
Well,
Charles Woodson? Rod Woodson?
Whoa.
Troy Polamalu?
By definition, they all are. But to be a Gully, what word are we looking for? That really highlights the versatility.
A multi-sport athlete? Is that how you would put that?
No, I mean that would be the general terminology, but
or is an athlete a person who can compete at again in multiple sports and in each one of those sports excel versus a guy who can jump high and run fast being athletic? Come on now, stop me stop me then. I dare you.
Athlete, definitionally speaking, literally definitionally speaking, implies a multitude or multiple proficiency in multiple sports, at least in more than one sport. So for that reason, Russell Wilson is an athlete. Patrick Mahomes is definitely an athlete. Jim Brown is definitely an athlete. Bo Jackson,
Charlie Ward,
and Deion Sanders. Charlie Ward, yep.
What about track guys like Raheem Mostert? He's exceptionally fast in track and field.
Correct. Yeah. Athlete, you become an athlete when it's more than one sport. Like the fact of the matter is, you might not. All right, so maybe you might be all right. To that point, you just mentioned him a few moments ago. Maybe Charlie Ward should have stuck with football, but he ended up playing basketball. Okay, because he maybe Charlie Ward should have went.
The fact that he made it to the NBA though.
Yeah,
it's still.
But look what he accomplished as a collegiate athlete, where he win the Heisman and what did he do at Florida State at the same time?
That's what I'm saying. But right. But that's what I'm saying. Charlie Ward has proficient as he was as a football player, considering the way his basketball career turned out, and it was actually a good one. I mean, he played for a few years. Was part of some.
With the Knicks, by the way.
What about guys like Jimmy Graham, who coincidentally I watched him at the U playing basketball all the time, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a second, isn't that the guy I used to watch playing basketball?
Slow down.
Tony Gonzalez is naturally
Antonio Gates.
That's right.
These are all athletes.
These are all athletes. But see, here's what I'm saying to you. I'm just saying at times I think it's a misappropriation of the word or term. Take your pick. We see a guy who can run fast and jump high, and we call him an athlete. And I say, no, he's athletic. That is not making him athlete. An athlete is a guy like, again, a Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders would score 114 touchdowns, 6 interceptions for all return for touchdowns in a game, then leave in the 7th inning, go jump in the shower, and then go play for the whoever NFL team he was playing for at that time. I mean, excuse me, whatever, who the Cincinnati Reds, whatever baseball team, the Braves, whoever he's playing for that time, and hit 3 home runs and hit for the cycle. You know,
Look,
I don't know if he ever did. I'm just saying.
He had a home run in the World Series and scored a touchdown in the same week.
Did you hear that? He hit a
not even Bo Jackson was able to do that.
He hit a home run in the World Series and then scored a touchdown.
Well, but he played in the same day. He played a playoff game and a football game. Dion.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's an athlete. Shaquille O'Neal, even in his prime, when he just hit the Magic at 20, I had never seen him really like that at center. I mean, no disrespect to my man Hakeem, but Shaq was not an athlete. I'm trying to say he was athletic. First dude I seen come off the fast break, throw the ball, come behind the back.
The guy, wait a minute, the guy that made a rule that you
made the rule?
The NBA and state created the rule that you have to have an additional rim net components already assembled in the back.
Yeah, because of Shaq. Yeah, because of Shaq.
But
I mean, that's some Kareem type stuff. They outlawed the dunk for a decade in college basketball.
But that's only an athletic individual. Don't you think
that's athletic?
There's a little bit more of it that almost boxes them in. That's almost
that doesn't make them an athlete. No, that doesn't make them an athlete. No, that makes them. Now he might be extremely athletic, but that doesn't make him an athlete. Let me read Jim Brown stuff right quick so we can go and get on out here. I know it's past my bedtime. Bunny slippers. I got pajamas with the feet in them waiting on me, and a hot cup of cocoa. Jim Brown was a Pro Bowl invitee every season he was in the league. Was recognized as the AP NFL Most Valuable Player 3 times, and won an NFL championship. Why can we not say his NFL championship is a Super Bowl? Because of what they called it? You still won it all that year, didn't you?
Yeah, well, it's because it was not
called
the best.
Quote unquote.
No, because there were not 2 leagues that played in it.
That's right.
Simply put, the Super Bowl was that the best of one league played the best of the other league. So recognize it that you had better because
the Browns beat the championship. They beat the Baltimore Colts. Is that what you're saying?
All right, so it's possible. It's possible to argue that there were AFL teams that, albeit not champions, they were AFL teams that probably were better than NFL teams, and you had a whole entire league that stood on its own. Even on the NFL, I mean, it's all about branding, right? The NFL say they're the premier league, so on and so forth. The AFL still existed, has a league all its own, and while the NFL team, being the Green Bay Packers, won the first 2 of them, there were still very competent AFL teams that maybe could have been able to compete for a Super Bowl. You get what I'm saying? So the idea of it is you still have a larger pool of competition. So yeah, you couldn't call it the Super Bowl because these teams didn't play. Like now,
sort of like, but listen, but that don't stop them. That, like we were saying last week, that don't stop folks from when the Lakers beat the Celtics. Stop folks from calling themselves world champions.
Right?
How you world champion and the team you just played is in the United States of America?
Because anybody from across the world can play in the league.
That don't make you a world champion. Oh man, you know what? Man, cut me in the cut. I know you did.
But that's the truth. That's the truth. Anybody from across the world can play. I mean, who else outside the world was trying to play football?
Okay, but let me sound okay. But at the end of the day, that don't make
right. If it was a rugby league that was making said claim, we'd know they were full of crap, or cricket, or anything.
Yeah. Right.
How are you a world champion and you're not playing other teams? You are a world champion in the Olympics.
But
I was on a debate team. I had to argue the counterpoint. Okay, that's what I did. You ain't asked me to agree with it. You just asked me to make the point. I made the point.
Okay, so
yeah.
Okay, my favorite movie too. What were you saying, Double J?
Well, kind of consistent with Gully. More.
Okay. Well, maybe I should just bring back the buddy button. My gosh, this is unbelievable. Anywho. He led the league, Jim Brown did, in rushing yards, in 8 out of his 9 seasons. And by the time he retired, he held most major rushing records. Okay. Let me give you the gambit of what this guy did. He actually, he was the 6th pick in the first round. Who was better than him? Y.A. Tittle or something? I don't know. Obviously, NFL champion in 1964, 3-time NFL most valuable player, 57, 58, 65. NFL rookie of the year. Darryl LaMonica went what?
No, I'm just saying.
I'm about to say, don't miss me. I don't want to see that number 3. 8-time first team All-Pro, 2nd team All-Pro, 9-time Pro Bowl, 8-time NFL rushing leader, 5-time NFL rushing touchdowns leader, NFL scoring leader in 58, 60s All-Decade team. He made the 50th, the 75th, and the 100th anniversary all-time team. He won the Burt Bell Award too. Unanimous All-American in 1956, 3rd team All-American in 1955. And college football, you know that little documentary ESPN was doing with college football's greatest 150?
Yep.
College football said he was the greatest college football player of all time. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, the college football 150 said he was the greatest college football player ever. I'm sorry, ever.
Interesting.
Yep. Yeah. No, interesting. That's probably a fact. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, it's hard to when you just compared it to collegiately. It's kind of interesting that they went that direction because of what you were mentioning. You know, I didn't hear anything about Jim Brown kicking extra points.
He did that at Syracuse. He did all that. That was his NFL stuff. His stuff at Syracuse is just too long to mention right now. We'd be here till tomorrow.
Well, him and then I'm telling you, the guy that came after him,
Ernie. You talking about Ernie?
Yeah,
talking about my man Ernie.
And I tried to talk. Again, his career in life was cut short, but he was on Cleveland as well. In terms of what could have been, Cleveland could have literally had the best 2 running backs in the history of the game.
Yeah. Let me say this too. Oh, excuse me, y'all. I'm bumping everything. We can get out of here. We are. Let me mention this as well before we do go about Jim Brown. They say he was in a category of his own. Lettering. 10 times. Lettering. 10
That's
times.
ridiculous.
In 4 sports: football, lacrosse, basketball, and track at Syracuse. Now you tell me.
Well, see, that's different.
I'm just saying that when we see this when you do a little digging, now you start to separate yourself in the pack, right? And put yourself in the back. No disrespect to Walter at all. No disrespect to Walter, but I mean, my gosh, this is at Syracuse now, mind you. Let me say again. Oh, and shout out my man Gully for joining us. He had to dip out. Like I said, we all getting ready to get on out of here. We appreciate y'all for listening, staying with us. Lettering 10 times in 4 sports.
Oh, that's a terrible.
Unbelievable. So what's terrible? That he lettered 10 times in 4 sports, or what's happening to Nebraska in the background? Oh, okay.
The latter.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I got you. But anyway.
Also was terrible is the fact that, okay, this is where it gets interesting, right? Because you brought him up actually during the descriptions of some of the list, but yet he wasn't a part of the list. Deacon Jones.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know why. I couldn't say. Again, this is NFL Network's top 10.
But
that's why I asked.
Who would you replace? Because it felt like, and this is no disrespect to Art Shell. Like he made history but in terms of from a playing career, he had the least amount, but substantially, of success that the other counterparts that were within the list did. But you could tell there was a bias there because he was a pioneer in that respect.
And you know what? The term, is it a word or term? Sack, well, is it a word or term? I know the phrase is sack the quarterback. That all comes from or coined or that's Deacon Jones, baby.
That's why this is somewhat a little bit baffling. Like even you had, I don't know who was 10.
Jackie Slater, according to NFL Network.
So, and this is where it gets interesting about criteria.
Do you know he was picked in the 14th round? He was 186th pick in the 14th round. Is that Mr. Irrelevant?
Not well. That would have been actually times 2.
Yeah, my gosh.
Literally, that's like 2. That's Mr. Irrelevant for the following year's draft.
Yeah, exactly. Let me point out here. Let me see here. 2-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year, 5-time first team All-Pro, 3-time second team All-Pro, 8-time Pro Bowl, 5-time NFL sacks leader. Yeesh.
And he's not on the list, dude. Listen to what you're saying.
Yeah, NFL's 1960s All-Decade team. He made the 75th and 100th anniversary.
They changed the rules because of him. He was part of one of the most legendary defenses.
Yeah, the fearsome foursome. Merlin Olsen, Rosie Greer, Deacon Jones. Oh, I forget who the fourth guy was. Did I say Merlin Olsen? Yeah, I did. Mm-hmm. Rosie Greer, Merlin Olsen, Deacon Jones.
I don't have my phone. That's going to bother me.
Darn it. Yeah. Well, it's all to the good. Yeah, and we got to get on out of here anyway, man. This is a good one. I appreciate it for everybody that weighed in. Mrs. Alva, too, especially. No more Lucia for this guy for a week. I'm telling you got to go on the diet, bud. Yeah,
well, you know who else? Hang on a second. I know we brought up McNair, and this is the one that kind of bothered me about that. You tell me, would it have been fair to switch Steve McNair for Doug Williams?
Absolutely.
I feel like it is it's almost the two Spider-Men looking.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. No, I don't know.
But here's what's interesting, right? They've rewarded longevity. They've rewarded, but they weren't. This list was all based off of just one one universal criteria, which is you came from an HBCU. It didn't stay what you did in college. It was what you did in the NFL. And the one caveat,
right? Top 10 HBCU players in it that played in the NFL.
Correct.
Right.
So you're talking. We've talked about pioneers, and we've talked about longevity. Both of which, again, with our number 10 on the list, and then respectively number 6 on the list with Art Shell. And yet you have a pioneer by way of success who also coincidentally played a decent amount of time as well. He won a Super Bowl. How can you tell me?
Wait, who won a Super Bowl?
Doug Williams.
Yeah, and was significant in it too.
Right.
That second quarter in that Super Bowl still stands out. And y'all know my mind be slipping, like the transmission on the 68 Buick that's been sitting in the garage.
No, but that was legendary.
That quarter was, he was the first black quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl, first of all. Right. Second of all, that quarter probably still stands as one of the best ever in Super Bowl history anyway.
Is the first coach.
Well, you said McNair. I thought you said Doug Williams and McNair.
Well, right. I'm comparing the two. I'm saying to me, they're interchangeable, which really specifies and highlights how far down the list Doug Williams should be, and he's not on the list. And why I picked McNair is because of how successful they were playing the position that they played. They were really models of one another. McNair's ability to really revolutionized something that had already kind of just really scratched the surface with predecessors. But Doug Williams proved what could be done.
That's a good question. I mean, what else? I mean,
You tell me, if there's no Doug Williams, is there a Steve McNair? And I think the answer is no.
Yeah, it might be, because you had Art Gilliam. He messed up on D Ruggs. You had Carlos Bundridge at Tennessee. You had Vince Evans. You had, I forget the other guy's name. There were others before Doug Williams. Yes. Believe me when I tell you this right now. And I'm not saying this, I'm not a Steelers fan.
Remember the movie. Remember the rule, right? That they just recently changed about that puts you into the driver's
talking about the race norming?
Yes. So my point is, this is because the rule just recently changed. We can easily put ourselves in that driver's seat of the mindset of the executives during that time frame. And as you pointed out, he wasn't the first, but he very well could have been arguably the last, based on his. So to me,
no, the way the game was going, it was going to eventually be some Lamar Jacksons and Vince Youngs and all of them. Anyway.
Maybe because you could fast forward 30 years later and how much they hated. They wanted the Peyton Mannings. Your legs are cement. And
yeah, but here's the deal, though. You know, the NFL, the bottom line is about bottom line, and the bottom line is about winning.
Yes, but you're talking about if there's one position that is almost like an executive, because it's the face of every franchise. Yeah, it's the quarterback position. And if you're viewing something as a lesser than,
if you look at the Steelers, though, with Art Gilliam, there would not have been no Terry Bradshaw if Art Gilliam hadn't been hooked on whatever he was hooked on. Man, Art Gilliam was light years. Art Gilliam is the reason why they started. They put them guys on that. They got the Lynn Swans and the Stalwarts and the Frenchie Fuquas and all of them. Art Gilliam was supposed. The Steelers. I'm not. There's gonna be some Cleveland fans that hear me say this. And they're gonna be like, man, you done lost your rocker, or you done lost all your rabbits. I'm telling you now, Art Gilliam with that team that Bradshaw won with, that Steelers, they was positioned to win 417 Super Bowls.
No. Yeah. Remember this during the Vietnam War, dude. They had people that left to go.
Okay, and then they had people that come back. Rocky Blyer came back.
Yeah,
with half a foot. Tom Dempsey,
he is actually
go to NFL history until what's the name did it? I don't know, a couple years ago, 63-yarder with half a foot. Tom Dempsey, look it up. Well, go ahead.
Remember, he took the team. He took the team to Vietnam.
Okay, I'm trying to tell you, Art Gilliam would have been Bradshaw got that position because Art couldn't get his together. Art Gilliam don't get in what the mess that he was in. We're not talking about Terry Bradshaw, not even probably as an analyst. Man, please. Man, Terry Bradshaw, man, please. That's why Turkey Jones dumped him on his dome. Yeah, check it out, baby. My man Turkey for the Browns, baby. 74, dumped him, picked him up. But that's when you could do that back then. Picked him up and dumped him on his rocker. Back, ow! Yeah, that's right. Yeah, get you some Midol. Well, I don't know, some Tylenol, something. Yeah, you got headaches, baby. Yeah, it's all good. And on that note, it's been fun, but we got to run. Yeah, excuse me. On that note, I leave you with this quote. What am I saying here? I didn't even. Where's the quote? What did you do with the quote? Oh my God. Oh, anyway, here's one for y'all. Where's the quote? I once cried because I had no shoes until I saw a man who had no feet. Be grateful for what you do have and not ungrateful for what you don't.
And Murphy's Law.
Yes, Stonecutter's Credo. Yeah, all that. Oh, and forget Einstein's doing the same thing over the lead definition of insanity and all that kind of stuff. Because the guy who was digging for diamonds for 30 years decided to stop all of a sudden because of Einstein's theory and sold his diamond equipment to the next guy. And the first strike, the guy finds a diamond in the 31st year. I'm just saying, give me the Stonecutter's credo.
It's all off propaganda. And
what happened?
What do you mean? You didn't know this?
Oh, please.
You can think advertising. That is actually the proof of advertising, because diamonds themselves are actually worthless.
Okay, well, do me a favor. Buy me a Mercedes or a Rolls Royce, and then we can talk about it. It's been fun, but we got to run. Don't forget to check us out every Wednesday at 9 on the PM side right here on the Yard. Or y'all can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the shop's fan page, and, of course, YouTube. And make sure when you're over at the tube, you hit that subscribe button, the little bell, little ching-a-ling-a-ling, you know, the notification thing right there. And we'd be much obliged, of course. And if that don't work, y'all can Google it. For my mans, Be Rich, Doc, Double J, TJ, D Gully, and all those who follow and support us, we say thank you. I'm Barbershop Jay. And you've been listening to the Shop Report. Oh, my gosh, this guy right here. You've been listening to the Shop Report. And remember, the next time y'all want to know what's really going on, man, come to the shop. Walk-ins are always welcome. Where's the outro? Holla!